Hey, this video is gonna be like cobbled together, but the main thing is that I want to talk about Discworld and also kind of like show you slash like kind of unbox some Discworld novels that I just bought. Yeah, some of you might remember like a couple years ago now I had like a box of books that I sent to myself, like they were already mine and I was like moving them and they got lost in the post, and the majority of those that got lost were these like collection of Discworld novels that I had collected, and I was really sad about it. And then I've been like searching to find replacements and have really struggled to, and then recently I kind of like discovered eBay and have found a bunch. Not actually, yeah, I'm waiting for one more and then I do have all of the ones that I lost, I believe. But I also it was like one of those like big job lot things where you just like get quite a lot and it's much cheaper, and so I definitely have more than just the ones I lost now, and yeah, that's exciting too. I'm gonna show you what I got. I guess that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just film this when I have the energy to, and like I opened the boxes the other day, so that's also why I look different than then. I guess I'll also like tell you if I've read these or if I haven't as I am holding them up, and then we can talk a bit more in depth about what I've read and what I want to read and stuff. This video is like a real hodgepodge, so because like I forgot slash I did a really bad job when I like thought I was up for filming, so this is me like, and I'm the most like recent version of me, like and I'm gonna pop in and like try to correct my mistakes, because I basically just like forgot to say a bunch of stuff, like slash I forgot to like actually show you all of the books, and like I fucked up. I got this interesting copy of The Colour of Magic, which I have read. It's the first one in the Discworld series and I did start with it. Oh yeah, I wanted to say one more reason why I wanted to make a video like this is because I feel like there's a lot of content about where to start with the Terry Pratchett Discworld series, and then there's also some content about like overviews of reading the whole series, but there's not much content about being in the middle of the series like as a whole, or like yeah, the process of reading a bunch of it, like being halfway through, which is kind of where I am, slightly less. But yeah, that's sort of like one of the reasons why I wanted to do this. Also because I have become, I feel like seasonally I get obsessed with Discworld, like, and it does tend to happen like December, January, February, those are my Discworld months. But anyway, yeah. Pyramids, Equal Rights, which I have read, and Mort, which I have read. So I'm collecting these specific editions, which are these like 80s 90s smaller paperbacks with these like sometimes just like vaguely horrifying, but I kind of love how like vaguely grotesque they are, all the covers. So yeah, that's that one, that's that one, that's that one. Yeah, this one is not actually part of the same series, I don't think, or at least yeah. Then we have Guards, which I just read. I think it's the most recent one I just read. Which I guess is such a good cover. Like, look at that dragon. Reaper Man, which is actually I think the next up, which is Abroad, which I have read too. Okay, then we have Small Gods. Hi, so I'm finally back to record some more of this video. One thing I wanted to say, actually two things I guess, but since I recorded like the beginnings of this, I guess, one of the books that I was waiting for arrived, and that's Carpe Jugulum, but I also realised I actually have one more left that is one of the books that I lost originally, and that's Weird Sisters, so I will need to find a copy of that. But a lot of the ones that I've seen like aren't the right edition that I'm looking for, or they're like £10, which like I'm not paying £10 for. Yeah, but this one has arrived, so that's fun, and it's in the Witches series. Yeah, I guess now I'll talk a bit about like my reading of the series, what I have read, what I haven't read, and what I'm gonna read next. So the only series in the Discworld series I have finished is the Tiffany Aching series. I only have one of those books with me now, but those are The Wee Free Men, then A Hat Full of Sky, Wintersmith, I Shall Wear Midnight, and then The Shepherd's Crown, which is the 5th book, and it's also the final Discworld book, if I am remembering correctly. Yeah, it's like one of my favourite series. I really love it. I love Tiffany, and I love all of the stuff related to witches, so I also love the Witches series, although I haven't finished reading that yet. But I guess let's talk about that one next then. So I have read Equal Rights, Weird Sisters, which I would say is one of my favourites of the whole Discworld series, Witches Abroad, Lords and Ladies, Masquerade, and then the final one I haven't read is Carpe Jagulum. And I kind of do want to read Carpe Jagulum like right now, but I also like don't, because then the Witches series will be finished. Although unlike with the Tiffany Aching series, I haven't reread, as far as I remember, I haven't reread any of them except from Equal Rights. Actually, I think I have reread that one, because I read that one like years and years ago, like 2011, 2013, and I do think I reread that maybe last year or maybe the year before. Then let's see, so aside from the Tiffany Aching series, the two other kind of like main fave series of mine are the Death series, because I love Death so much, he's a great character, and then also the Witches, like the grown-up Witches series. So let's go on to the Death series. So that's Mort, which I have read, which is pretty cute. Reaper Man, which was the most recent one I read, like as in I finished reading this like last week sometime. This one was really cute. I thought it was really funny, and Death is just like, I have a crush on Death. Like, got Soul Music, which was one of the ones that I lost in the post originally. So this one I haven't read, Soul Music, with this great cover. But then I have read the next one in the series, which is Hogfather, and the last one in the series is The Thief of Time, which I don't have and I haven't read. I read the series out of order because I wanted to read Hogfather like during a Christmassy time before I started converting, and I thought it would be nice to like do as like one of the things to say sort of goodbye to some of the Christmas stuff. Obviously, like, it's not about Christmas, it's about Hogswatch, but so I've got 2 left out of that series to read. I love all of these books, like just having them all like in front of me like makes me really happy. In the like Wizard / Rincewind, whatever, series, we've got this version of The Colour Magic. I do have a copy of The Light Fantastic, Sorcery, Eric, Interesting Times, The Last Continent, The Last Hero, and Unseen Academicals. So yeah, I've only read 2 of those, but I think I probably will read all of them, ultimately. People do, and like on Goodreads, this is what it's split up into, but on Terry Pratchett's like main website, I don't think this series is included as a separate one. I think 3 of them are included as the Moist von Lipwig series, but then there are others that are like considered standalone, but then on Goodreads, for example, are considered part of the series. So on Goodreads, this is called like the Industrial Revolution series, and the first one in that is Moving Pictures, which I do have a copy of, which is a new one. And then it also has The Truth, Monstrous Regiment, Going Postal, Making Money, and Raising Steam. And I have read Going Postal. It's one of my favourites as well. It's a really great one. Then we've got the City Watch series, which is Guards, which is also one I read recently and was the first one I read from this series. I do have a new copy of Men at Arms, which is exciting, which is the second one, so that would be the one that I would next read. Feet of Clay. Then we have Jingo, which again is a new one for me. The Fifth Elephant, also a new one. I love elephants, like I love this cover. I hope the elephants are okay. Don't get distracted by elephants. Then there's Night Watch, Thud, and Snuff, and I haven't read any of those. And then I have 2 copies of ones that are considered like standalones. So the ones I have of those are Pyramids and Small Gods, and I haven't read either of these. Or the third one, which is The Amazing Maurice and his Educated Rodents. Although I believe Maurice was mentioned in this. No, in Reaper Man, but this one is like the 11th overall in the series, and Maurice is 28th, so I would imagine that like this is like setting Maurice up a little bit, you know. So hopefully I should have gone through everything of the series that I have read now. But I'm just gonna like count up so I can tell you how many I have read. So I've read 17 out of 41. So I'm like on my way to being halfway done. So that's cool. In terms of like what I'll be reading next, I think in this video I was like, I'm going to be reading Reaperman next, but obviously now I have read that. I think my two next options are either Soul Music or Carpe Jugulum. And because I just read the Death series, I think I probably will read this one, but I might take a bit of a break before I do. I also will be starting my reread of Wintersmith at some point because I finished my reread of Hatful of Sky recently, so now I'm just going to keep rereading Tiffany Aching as I always do, but I might not start that for a little while. Something that I would say is that as I have read more of the series and have kind of branched out away from just reading Tiffany Aching and just reading Witches, the more I've come to love it, and I'm really glad that I haven't stopped myself from reading more of it. You know, I don't think Terry Pratchett is perfect, and I think sometimes some of the vocabulary he uses in his books it isn't great, but I also do feel that like at the core of them there is this real sense of like deep love and care, and I really love that. And also just like a sense of fun that is not about making people hurt, but about making people genuinely happy and laugh, and that's also something that is really lovely and really just charming about reading the books. Yeah, I feel like I probably already did say like what my favourites were as we went through this, but I kind of want to like go over them a bit more just to like underline how good they are. So out of the Witcher series, I would say Weird Sisters is like a favourite. It's just really funny. It's like a Macbeth retelling, and it's also full of puns. I mean, that is very like Terry Pratchett in general, but I think the puns work especially well in Weird Sisters. From Tiffany Aching, I think that I Shall Wear Midnight is one of the best books of all time. Comfort wise, I think I would probably say that Going Postal is also one of my favourites. I do re-listen to, maybe not all of it all the way through, but I do have like a CD that sometimes I just listen to like bits of, and I just really love it. I also do like the adaptation that they did. I thought that was cute. So I think that does have to be included as one of my favourites because it is one of my favourites, I guess. Honourable mentions go to Masquerade from the Witches series, A Hatful of Sky for sure. I think also an honourable mention does have to go to The Wee Free Men as well. Also an honourable mention definitely goes to Reaperman. I thought that was better than more. I might reread more at some point soon-ish, but I mean, and I did enjoy it, but I thought that Reaperman was better. Maybe because like the main character is Death more so than in Mort, where like Mort is kind of the main character, although obviously it's like, you know. Yeah, I would say those are my like key favourites. In terms of like a lot of the content, like I said, is about like where to start with Discworld, and as someone who is reading Discworld, I would say that like I don't think it really matters where you start. I mean, there's 41 books, so there's just like a lot, and it depends. If you really care about like not being confused, then maybe don't start with the first one, but like at the same time, like I started with the first ones, and like that didn't stop me from reading more of the series. Like they intrigued me even if they were a bit like weird and plotless, and also just like not particularly thought through and like very spoofy, I guess. But like that didn't, yeah, like that didn't put me off from keeping reading and reading like different pockets. Obviously, like I do not especially like the wizards generally, so that has like led my reading too, but like it's a 41 book series. It's gonna take a while to read, so like if you're really unprepared to like put energy into things that you might not like 100% love 100% of the time, then like reading a 41 book series is maybe just not for you. Which is fine. I think probably like if you are like a YA reader, then a Tiffany Aching book is a good place to start, and if you like fantasy books in general, then Weird Sisters is a great place to start. But otherwise, what's it called? Oh my gosh, why have I suddenly forgotten? The Colour of Magic is a good place to start, and so is The Light Fantastic. I think when I did first read them, I read them like back to back, and that was like good for me. And I also think that Equal Rights is also quite a good place to start. Although I think the Granny Weatherwax you meet in here is a bit different than the one that is like developed onwards. For me, I do feel like Equal Rights like is kind of a bit separate from the Witches series, because it just has like such a different kind of focal point, and then also because it is just much less interested in like communal stuff. It's much more like outward facing, and that's fine. Like, I mean, it's an enjoyable book, but I know that maybe that's not an opinion that lots of people agree with, but I always kind of forget that this is a witch's book because it just isn't really the same as a witch's book. Anyway, okay, I think now I've covered everything. I can finally finish this video, and I am at least feeling a bit more cognitively capable, so that's nice. Yeah, please do let me know your thoughts about Discworld. I love it, I love to talk about it, so yeah, definitely let me know what you've read, what you want to read, any books that I should like prioritize getting to soon. Yeah, okay, I hope you are having a nice day when you're watching this. Thank you for bearing with me, and I will talk to you when I next talk to you. Bye!